So this is the video for chapter 2. In this chapter we are going to learn about the tables. These are the basic block of any database object. So let's just understand like what is table. So table is basically a collection of data and information, and a data can be anything. It's a piece of information about anything. And for example, if we talk about a company, uh, it's a very general scenario that a company will have like a lot of employees, and they will also have the information about the employees, like employees name, employees salary, what department they work in. I won't dive too much into the conceptual thing. Let's just jump right back into the coding part, where we will create some table. We'll also insert some record, and we'll also try to fetch those record which we insert into a table. Let's go to the dbeaver and create some scripts. So I'm going to create a new SQL script page. I already have the code ready, so that I don't spend too much time writing the code in the video. So let me just copy the code here. So let's start from the top. So before we create any table, it's a good practice to delete the table or drop the table, so that when you create it next time it won't create a problem. So I might have created this table before, so that's why I'm going to drop the table. In this step, we are going to create a new table called employee, and it has a bunch of information. For example, employee ID, name, address, where that address is, like which country it is in, bunch of other information. So before we can enter the data into a table, we have to first create the structure of the table. So this is the step we are going to create the structure of the table. So at the bottom, it's showing the result of the query which I just executed. So it's showing that, okay, this has created the table for that employee. Now if I query the table, there won't be any data because we have only created the table now. So once we create the table, next job is to insert or populate the data into the table. So these are some sample data which I have created for the employee table. So I have given the employee ID. Employee ID is basically the unique identifier for each of the employee, and then I have the name, then where that employee lives and what is the country of that address, and this is the salary, this is the department, and then this is the designation of the employee, and this is the joining date of the employee, and the last input is the manager name of the employee. Let's just insert these 5 records. Okay, so as you can see below, it has inserted all these 5 records. So since we have inserted the record, let's just query the table and see if they are showing up or not. So this is a very basic script to run a select query on a table. So select star from employee. Star means all the columns. So if you give like star on any table, it will show you all the columns from that table. But if you want to select specific column and don't want to display all the column, we have to pick up the specific columns. So for example, if I just want to see the name, then I have to give name column in the select clause and then the table name. This will only display me the name. So this next query, what it does is it picks up the unique value. So say for example, a company has 100 employee, and those 100 employees are working through 10 branches. So overall in that company there are only 10 branches, right? So if I just want to get the list of those 10 branches, I have to use the distinct clause on the column name. So in our scenario, that branch name is nothing but the department name. So if I just run this, it will give me the unique list of department name. So even though we have, if we have 5 record, if I just do the distinct, it's giving me 4 record. So there are like 4 unique department in these 5 records. And you can see these 2 people, Ramesh and Max, they work from the same department, and that department name is offshore. Let's go over the next query, which is about sorting the data in the table. It doesn't matter like in which order you insert the data into a table, but if you want to order the data in a table in using any specific column, that you can do easily using the order by clause. So when I inserted the record into the table, I had I had given the salary information as well. So what I want to do here is like I want to order all the record in the descending order of the salary. What that means is like I'm going to keep the record which has the highest salary on the top, and the person who has the lowest salary, that record will go at the bottom of the result. And this is the way to do it. So if you look at the result, it has ordered the record in this table, and the person Carter, he is getting 3000, and Ramesh, he is also getting 3000, and Max, he is also getting 3000, and the other 2 person who has the lowest salary, they are coming in the bottom. So same way, if you want to order the record based on some different column, you have to put that column in the order by clause. All right, so let's look at the next query. So this query is very similar to the other query which I ran a couple of minutes earlier, where I was trying to only get the name from the employee. So same way, if you want like multiple columns from the employee, you have to give the name of those columns in the select clause. So if I run this, it will just give me name and the address from the employee. The next query is very similar to the distinct clause which we looked at earlier. So in this clause, I'm trying to get the distinct country from all the record which I have in the employee. So if I look at the record, this record has employee information from 2 countries, US and India. So this query should give me US and India. Alright, so here's the result, US and India. So in the next query, we are doing some kind of transformation on a single column. So for example, every employee has some salary, and I want to see or I want to calculate the salary by multiplying it by 2, and see how much that would be. So the way to do it, you can use the arithmetic operation on the select clause. So if you just multiply the salary by 2 and put that into the same select clause, it will give you that value. So this is the regular salary which I have entered into the table when I created the table, and then this is a new salary, which basically I have just multiplied 2 with the current salary, and that's how I'm getting the new salary. And this column, whenever you transform any column or whenever you want to rename any column in the view, you can use this clause like as and the new column. This will change the column name to the new column name in the given view. And if I just remove this as part, it will give me the expression in the column header. So it's not an expression, but it's simply, this is I think the by default behavior of dweaver. It's just giving question mark to the column. That means like this is undefined column. So the better way to do it, like assign the name to the columns if there is no name to that transformation. All right, now in the next query we are doing a transformation, and this is a different kind of transformation. This is the update operation we are performing on the employee table for a specific employee. So for example, in this update query, we are updating the manager of the employee whose employee ID is 3. Let's see who's that employee. So Carter has the employee ID 3, and the current manager of Carter is the Remo. You can see that in this data set. So the goal is to update the manager name of Carter to John. And how I can do that? I can use the update transaction on this record. So this is the query to update a single record. And now this has updated the record, and if you look closely, it has the where condition. So that's how I'm making sure that this update query is running on only one record, which is the record number 3. So let's look at the table again and see if that has updated the record or not. So we have updated the employee ID, which is equal to 3. So this is the third record, the record with the employee ID equal to 3. And if you look at the manager name, it's John now. Before it was Remo. And this last query, this is another kind of operation on the record or on the table. So here I'm trying to delete one of the record. So for example, in this scenario, someone might have entered a record which is not correct and which we want to get rid of. uh, how we can do that? We can use the delete operation on the table. So there are 5 records right now in the table, and I want to get rid of the 5th record. How we can do that? We can use the delete clause on the table, and we also have to point out which record we are deleting, and that we are doing using the where clause. So delete from employee where employee ID equal to 5. Let's do that, and you can see in the result it has updated rows. This is the general stats comes from the dbeaver. So now if you look at the table, it will have only 4 record. That 5th record is gone. So this is all for the chapter 2. I just covered basic concepts or basic query uh, on how to look at the table, on how to find out distinct or unique values for any specific column, or also to how to order the record in a table. So these are very general concepts or use cases we use in a day-to-day operation in the data analytics world, and these are like the basic building blocks of any bigger queries. So this is the end of chapter 2. Please leave a comment or any feedback if you like the video. Thank you.